What is up, everyone? Welcome to the 6th episode of the Right from the River podcast. This is your host, as always. What's up, Riv? And yeah, what's up? How you guys doing? How have you been since last week? How's your mom? How's your sister? How's your dad's hip doing? Is it getting better after the surgery? That's good to hear. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks for tuning in to the 6th episode of the podcast. I'm just going to jump right into it. Like always, we're not really going into this episode with any kind of specific theme. As you probably heard in the last episode, I tried actually speaking more on a specific subject of hominids, and for whatever reason, felt like I got camera shy. You know, now that I actually came with a topic and I planned a little bit of a prompt for it, I totally lost track of the prompts and all direction I had with it, but it's fine, man. We're learning, we're vibing, we're chilling. We're macking, we're whiling, we're doing all the things right now. But before we get too far into it, we're just going to jump into, you know what it is, the beginning of the podcast bong rip. That's right, I got the little trusty glass rig. I posted a picture on the Instagram page, so hop over there if you want to see that. That is What's Up, or no, it's not What's Up Riv. Oh my god, I can't remember my podcast, or my Instagram user. Here, let me look that up real quick before we get too far into it. It's my weed page. Don't post any smoking videos or anything like that just yet, but that's because I don't have a cool little setup for that kind of stuff. But yeah, check it out if you're interested. If you like seeing pictures of cool rigs, of good weed, nice concentrates, good edibles, and just all around lifestyle pics, man. Check out my Instagram. It's High Mountain River. That's high, as in high. HIGHMTNRIVER. That's right. It's High Mountain River. I have a whole 54 followers on the page, so a bit of a viral star. So yeah, check it out. Head on over there if you want to see some cool weed pics. You want to be involved in what your boy's been up to in his lifestyle and stuff. I work as I'm sure you guys know at this point, I work in the weed industry. So I'm very grateful to have access to a lot of really good product. And yeah, I just like sharing that product with y'all. I want y'all to see what it looks like too because, dude, some of it is so goddamn good. Honestly, I posted a picture about a month ago, and not even a month ago, about a week or two ago on my Instagram. And it's some Natty Rems live butter. Oh, dude, it looks like somebody cracked an egg into the dram. It's beautiful. Honestly, it's beautiful. And fuck it, since we're at it, since I'm already dropping links to my Instagram and my social media in general, why not head over to my TikTok account too? I haven't been the most active on it just yet, but surprise, surprise, me not being the most active on a platform, that's something I say every podcast. But go check out my TikTok. I believe, if I remember correctly, that will be High Mountain River as well. If it's not High Mountain River, then it's What's Up Skid. No, not What's Up Skid. That's the music page. Dude, I have so many social media handles related to my music, my art, weed, and now the podcast. I'm starting to lose track of all of it. But no, check out my TikTok. It's either going to be High Mountain River or What's Up Riv. Check one of those out. It's going to be one of those. I got you. Can't post weed stuff on the TikTok videos. They're super, super strict about that, but I try to be funny sometimes. I might make a video or say something every now and then that makes you chuckle. And even if it's a guffaw or something, hey, if I make you laugh, that's a win. But awesome, man. We just actually passed the 4:20 mark, 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the video. So I feel like that's as good as time of any to take a bong rip. So let's do it. Beginning of the podcast, bong rip. Let's go. Today, actually, yeah, I say let's go 4 times, but I'm jumping guns, man. We jumping guns over here. But the weed that we're smoking today is actually going to be a new strain that we haven't tried on the podcast yet. So, oh shit, hold your breath. It is Yuck Mouth. Yuck Mouth is, it sounds like, it's such a weird name. I don't know, Yuck Mouth, I know he's a rapper, but it sounds like an insult. It sounds like something you would say as an insult. But yeah, Yuck Mouth is a sativa leaning hybrid. Super tasty. It's got that nice chemi, kind of gassy, rubbery flavor to it. Honestly, that's my favorite kind of weed. Give me that chemi, gassy kind of bud. and we're in for a good ass time if I'm being real. But yeah, I was gonna try to smoke this at the 420 mark, but as you know, as you can tell, your boy's been rambling, so we're just gonna take a hit now. Beginning of the bong, Jesus Christ. Beginning of the podcast bong rip. Got the bowl of yuck mouth. If you got some bud with you as well, and you're in a place where you can legally consume it without getting any trouble, light up with me. Feel free. Let's do this, man. Cheers. Delicious, tasty, beautiful. We love it. That's why we're here. We steady macking, chilling, vibing, and wilding. Let me get the rest of that out of my mouth, or out of my throat. Oh my God. I tried not to say out of my mouth because I didn't want it to have like an innuendo, and I thought throat was a better replacement. I meant to say, let me blow all the smoke out of my lungs before we move on with the podcast. So yeah, another crazy week. Lots of crazy shit happening this week. Our little kitty cat, he had some little issues, so had to take him into the vet earlier this week. But he's good. Nothing serious. Thank goodness. Thank the gods. He's a boy cat, and I guess boy cats are just a little more prone to like, I don't want to get too in detail about it, but he's a little more prone to like peeing issues. Something about the kitty boys area down there makes him more prone to problems. So we got him on a little medication, our spoiled ass gato, and he's doing better. Honestly, he's doing really good. We got 2 cats. We have little Max. He's my boy. He's a little black and white domestic short hair. I say little, but he's not. He's like the size of a fucking turkey. He's round and chunky, but I love him either way. We got Max, and we have the other boy. We have Raj. He's, I want to say he's like a mix. He's like a Bengal and a domestic short hair. And I say he's a mix because he definitely has that Bengal look to him. Like he's got like a longer body. He's got the patterns on him and stuff. But I don't know. He's not that like he's a big cat, but he's not like massive as you would think like a Bengal cat would be, I guess. But he's a Bengal. I love him. And he's been doing a lot better lately, so that's really awesome. Max is doing well too, so I fucking love it. I love these cats, man. So it's good to know that they're in good health, because that makes me feel like I'm in better health too, It's that whole thing. It's like symbiotic. If I know my gatos are good, then I'm good too, man. Oh yeah, but speaking of gatos too, I've been steady staying on this Duolingo trend lately. Not even a trend. I've been just steady staying on my Duolingo stuff. I think today I just got to a 23 day streak. So, yeah, not trying to brag, but I'm kind of fucking killing it a bit with my Duolingo. I've been learning Spanish. Like, I've been learning Spanish on and off for fucking years off of Duolingo. And I don't think I've ever made it past like the first 4 courses. But yeah, now I'm actually at the first checkpoint. So I've completed the tasks where it's like basic shopping stuff, how to like address family, how to like order at a restaurant kind of and stuff. But it's cool. Now it's like I'm actually starting to listen to stuff where it's like full conversations, full sentences where I have to listen to a conversation, and from that conversation they'll ask me a question like, which of the shirts was $10 in that story? And you got to like actually listen to it. It's not just like matching the English word to its corresponding Spanish word. You got to actually like listen to the dialect, listen to the grammar, and make sure that your brain can process it as a sentence. Because that's definitely the worst part, or the biggest issue I've run into so far with it is when I doing the word association, it's it's relatively easy. I can look at a word, be like, oh, está, that's it is, or hombre, that's man, and so on, so on. But when you put that all of it into a sentence, it still sounds a little jumbled. But we're doing better at it, man. I'm psyched about it. Up to, like I said, I'm up to 22 or 23 days on it now. So I'm going to just keep killing it, man. I'm excited. It's good. But yeah, I've been trying to do the Duolingo stuff. I've still been working out too. Been killing it on the workouts, man. Pumping iron, Remember talking about that last podcast? The last podcast? On the last podcast, we talked about just being healthier, doing better stuff for us, keeping moving so that we could feel better, not doing workouts and exercising, so just to simply focus on the visible physical aspect of it. We want to talk about how we feel on the inside from it too. Because like I'll be honest, it is nice. I am seeing a little more roundness in my biceps, man. That is kind of cool. That's nice. I've never really had like big arms and stuff, but I also feel so much fucking better after working out. If I'm being completely honest, like, yeah, I'm tired. Sometimes it takes. I've only been working out for like 2 weeks, but I'm already having to convince myself some days, come on, man, like just get the workout done so you can get on with the day. But like 98% of the time, every time I do a workout, afterwards I'm always like, man, I'm glad I did that. Like I'm really glad I actually took the time for that. And it's just nice, man. I feel like my posture's been better. I feel like I'm getting a little better sleep. I feel like I just feel better. I sit for a lot of like my time at home. I'm sitting in front of a computer, if I'm being honest, doing the podcast stuff, playing video games, being an all around schlump. But when I'm at work, I'm standing all day. I'm on my feet. I wear Vans too. So they have like no fucking arch support. And bro, I'm getting to that age where I actually got to start considering things like my arch support and like the type of shoes I wear. It's wild. So I got to start focusing on the health shit. And that's I think why what also encouraged me to buckle down on it is I'm nearing 30, man. And I know 30's not old or anything, but dude, I'm almost 30. Like that's fucking wild. That's not my 20s anymore, I'm going to be 30, so I want to make sure that I go into the next decade of my life at least with some good habits in mind. I'm not necessarily doing this so I could go into my 30s ripped with a six pack, which would be nice if I'm being real, but the actual key, the whole entire goal with this exercise routine stuff is just that, is to help build healthy routines and habits that will continue on later into my life in one aspect or another. Because it doesn't matter how many push-ups you do, doesn't matter how many sit-ups you do, it's a life. You gotta like incorporate other stuff in there too, like healthy eating habits, just like daily routines, like going to bed at a certain time. Like that's a big important part about it is I do not get good sleep, my guy, my gal, my folks. I do not get good sleep. So that's why I smoke weed. It's like a vicious cycle, man. I smoke weed so it helps me go to sleep, but then I wake up in the morning kind of groggy or like groggy and stuff like that still. And so I take some caffeine, but the caffeine keeps me up, so I smoke more weed, and it's a cycle, man. It is a cycle. But yeah, we're working hard at it, and I hope you guys are too. I encourage you guys to also build healthy habits just in one aspect or another, whether that means cutting out sugar, whether that means going to bed at an earlier time, or making sure you're drinking one or two more glasses of water in your day. Like that's fucking awesome, man. Because one step forward is still one step forward. It's still a step further ahead than we were yesterday. And that's the important part about it. Like not trying to get cheesy or anything like that, but while I've been doing this Duolingo stuff, there's, obviously they'll give you tips and stuff like that during the little loading screens. And one of the tips that it gave me was, oh my God, I'm forgetting it. Oh yeah, it's the goal of the program is not perfection. The goal of the program is progress. And I feel like that's really resonated with me, and that's been something that I've been constantly reminding myself of throughout the entire program is it's all right to fuck up. It's all right that I don't get 100% on every Duolingo lesson I take. That's not the goal. I'm not trying to ace a language. I'm learning another language, The goal is progress. The goal is to learn the language. I'm not in school anymore. I'm not in class where I'm trying to get an A plus or some shit. Like this is a language. I'm just trying to learn it for the sake of learning it. So I can have that in my arsenal. And yeah, it feels good. It feels nice. And like I said, I think I said it in the last podcast, I want to kind of use this podcast as a way to keep myself accountable with it. And so it feels good to be able to report back to the folks, to the peeps, that we're doing good, man. I got to drink more water, if I'm being completely honest. I have not been very top notch with my water intake, but we're doing good, man. And I hope you guys are too. And especially during all this shit that's going on right now in Denver, apparently over the weekend, Denver legit for a short time had the worst air quality in the world. Like, I kid you not, we topped out at number one worst air quality in the world until Russia took it over by like, oh my God, a ridiculous amount. But It's been pretty bad here, if I'm going to be honest. Like, air quality wise, it's been terrible. I mean, even looking at my computer screen now, it has the little weather forecast on the bottom right, and it says 83 degrees Fahrenheit, polluted air. And it's just because of the way the wind travels over the Rockies. You know, there is a shit ton of fires going on right now. There's a fire in Northern California that is over 400, has, at the time that I checked on it, it had burned over 400,000 square acres. And there's also fires in, I want to say, Oregon and Washington as well. And so all of that smoke, it just comes over the Rockies and comes right to us. And it just really sucks, man. It sucks for everybody. It sucks for everybody involved because you have these states that are literally trying to fight these forest fires, and they're dealing with the shitty smoke quality or air quality as well because of the smoke. And then that smoke comes over to other states, and people experience it there too. And it sucks, man. It sucks. Like, I feel like if I'm being real, I feel like I've been on Mars the past couple of days. Like, I keep my windows closed at home. I keep my windows up in the car. I've been like wearing my mask again sometimes when it's just like really bad out. Like, it sucks, man. The fucking air quality is garbage right now. The air is literally fucking poison in Denver, and it sucks. I just want to hope the best for all the peeps in Denver and everywhere that are being affected by the negative air quality. I hope the best for you, especially since we have this COVID shit still going on, especially with this Delta variant going around. You know, the last thing we need in the aspect of reality is another potential respiratory issue. But yeah, anybody who's being affected by the quality of the air, anybody who's being affected by the fires themselves, even in other countries. There's a fire in Italy. I want to say that there's a fire in Greece going on right now. Like, this world's going to hell in a handbasket, man. And I don't want to be one of those people. I don't think like the earth is doomed and shit like that. I think there are a lot of aspects in the world that are going to be irreversible. Like, if I'm being completely real, like global warming, I will take a stance on that. And that shit is 100% fucking real. And people who try to deny that shit and deny the fact that we as humans have an effect on our atmosphere and our environment, straight up ignorant, man. You really don't think that we have an effect on our environment? Look at what we do to the like little bit of land that we build our house on. Like, look at how much a landscape changes with just a house being built there. Now multiply that by millions, billions, and put that all over the world. You really don't think we have an effect on our environment? But yeah, I actually watch Philip DeFranco. Whew, see, I got off on a little tangent there. Goodness, now we know what hits home for Riv. But I was watching Philip DeFranco today, and he was talking about some study of pretty much how the average temperature again of the Earth has gone up in the past 100 years, and how since 1901 or 1902 the sea levels have risen like multiple inches. And it's just, well, I don't think that our planet's going to be hit with a tidal wave. We're not going to be Waterworld with Kevin Costner or some shit, but this world is going to be at a point where the things we've done to it will be irreversible. I mean, for God's sakes, even look at it now. We live in the Anthropocene era. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that properly. The Anthropocene era. And that just means that wherever you go on the planet during this era, there is evidence of human life, human civilization. I mean, fuck, James Cameron rode on a James Cameron piloted a submarine to the deepest point in the ocean, to the very tippy bottom of the Marianas Trench. And when they got down there, they found beer bottles. Like, people physically can't even get down there without the assistance of this, like, incredibly high-grade, high-tech equipment. And yet our trash is still making it down there. So, I don't know, man. Like I'm saying, or I started with this rant with, I don't think that global warming is going to like kill humans. It's not like it's going to be a massive wipe of humankind across the world, but it's definitely affecting the way we live now already, and it's just going to continue to do that. It's going to continue to change the way we have to do things, the fuels we have to use, the products we eat, the animals we eat, and I think it's important for humans to really look at it, man. Because this bitch is High School Musical right now. We're all in this together, all right? We're all on the same ship, man. Just because your end of the ship isn't touching the water just yet doesn't mean that you're okay. Doesn't mean that we're gonna be okay. Without the help of each other is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, man. This world is wild. I mean, just look at the temperatures this summer and stuff too in Denver. I feel like steadily the entire summer it was 90 fucking degrees. And this is 100% anecdotal evidence. I have no scientific information to back this up, but I personally feel like growing up in Colorado, it has been consistently and steadily just getting hotter every single fucking year. Like, I don't remember winters being so mild when I was a kid. Like, granted, there was a couple times when I was a kid where we got some pretty bad snowstorms. Like, I think there was a blizzard in like 98 or 99. I remember there was a big ass blizzard in like '07, and I was out of school. Like, we had snow days for like a week and a half straight. It was like the best fucking thing for a kid. Like, I loved it, man. I was so hyped during that time. But I remember going out front too. We had snow drifts in our driveway that were like 6 feet tall, 6, 7 feet tall. And now I feel like we'll get hit like one time with like one good snowdrift, one good like crazy little whiteout, and that'll be it for the entire winter. And like I said, that's totally anecdotal. That's just based off of what I've experienced. Because a couple of years ago there was that big fucking what did they call it? Back in like 2018 or 2019, there's a big ass storm that hit this state. They hit the country. Like, everybody was frozen in the U.S. for a while. But it was fucking bad. I remember that, though. It was like the snowpocalypse or some shit. It was like a cyclone or something. I think that was it. It was like the cyclone or whatever. But it was bad. I remember driving home around the time that the snow started falling. And by the time I had gotten to my exit ramp on the highway, me and all the people around me were like slipping and sliding. There was so much just sleet on the highway. So, like I said, it's anecdotal. I don't know if there is evidence that the Earth's average temperature is rising consistently. So, yeah, I was going to say, I guess there's not evidence to that, but no, there literally is evidence that it is on average hotter nowadays than it was 100 years ago. At the peak or at the brink and the dawn of the industrial era. So yeah, man, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Speaking of pipes and smoking, I think it's time for another bong hit. It's a good hit. Damn it. I'm always trying to like keep myself from coughing, but well, yeah, man. That's why I like this Yuck Mouth, because it's more of a sativa hybrid, so it doesn't get me like racy or paranoid or anything, but it does make it really enjoyable to just talk and ramble and keep talking. And I appreciate you guys being here to listen to this, man. Shit, like, I know it's been a little bit of a slow start for the podcast, but I also haven't really done much to actually advertise it outside of the podcast. I feel like with my music and stuff like that, I was pretty good with that. I was always posting on multiple platforms, but I honestly haven't posted anything on any platform about the podcast. I think it's just because it feels kind of nice, Like, I appreciate the fuck out of the support that I get from my close loved ones, but it just feels kind of nice to just drop this podcast and just let it try to grow organically too, just with like algorithms and shit, just seeing what kind of following I could build up just from that. But yeah, man, I forgot where I was going with that. Damn. Oh yeah, but actually, yeah, I do remember where I was going with that. I wanted to actually start advertising more for the podcast though. So let's see if we can actually get some more people to listen to this bitch, because that would be really nice. I think it'd be kind of cool to be able to build up enough of a following where I could like open a Patreon. And I know I talked about that in a previous podcast too, but I think it would just be cool as fuck to be able to invest into this. Like, I've already invested a bit, I obviously had to like purchase the computer. I've been paying for the Adobe software for what feels like most of my fucking adult life. And this fancy ass microphone that I never used before the podcast, really. But yeah, I think it'd just be nice to take in an extra step. I live in a small ass studio apartment. Why am I clicking a pen? I'm like holding a pen and clicking a pen while on recording. That is so fucking dumb. But I live in a tiny ass studio apartment, and so my lady and I, we have this little coffee table area like right in front of our TV, and that's pretty much our Swiss Army area. I think I was gonna say I like to call it, but that's like literally the first time I've said that. But it's our Swiss Army area because we use it for so much. Like it'll be our little, this is my fitness area, or this is Brianna's like yoga area, and this is, our eating area. Or sometimes we just schlump on the ground with our cats because they like laying on the rug with us. But it's nice though. Like we make do with it. We're happy with it. Like we figured out our like place and our rhythm with it, but it would be nice to be able to invest in something a bit bigger to spread our wings. But yeah, man. Hopefully Patreon coming around the corner here soon. Hopefully more listeners coming around the corner here soon. I just got to do one like wild ass thing. It doesn't even have to be wild. I just got to say something fucking hilarious that can be made into a meme. And then boom, that's it, baby. That's it. We on the list. But yeah, I totally forgot to mention. I was actually going to mention this at the beginning of the podcast too, but when I was talking about how it's been like a wild week and shit like that. But another reason that it's been such a wild week is my fucking boss got fired at my job earlier this week. And just for like the protection of people's identities and stuff like that, I'm going to try the best I can to not like say their name. I'm not even going to give it like a nickname or anything to go by, but just for their sake, like I want to talk about it, but I also don't. Like I hope that things work out for him too. Like I'm rooting for you, man. Like even if the area that we worked in wasn't a good environment for him to thrive in, I'm still not wishing ill will on the dude. Like he's got a family he's got to take care of. So it's like I hope you get a job, man. I hope you get it quick as fuck. He's got a couple options from what I heard. So get that shit taken care of, big dog. But yeah, for the sake of identities and shit, I'm not gonna like mention names. And if I do, I'm just gonna bleep the name out if I accidentally like slip the name or anything. But yeah, dude, my boss got fired. We had we had some shit go on at work, and it was a very important, very urgent situation that happened. And he failed to bring it up to his higher ups, so it was just not a good thing. And there was also a burglary at at the dispensary that I worked at. Again, I'm not gonna get into detail with that, but just know there was a burglary, and I think it's just because of his negligence with handling a prior urgent situation, combined with his negligence of how he handled the burglary, was just kind of the nail in the coffin for them not wanting to keep this dude around. Like, if I'm being completely honest, like, I've worked as a bud tender. I work in a dispensary, and it's just, I'm not sure why. It's unfortunately very common for there to be a pretty high turnover rate with bud tenders and bud tending in general. But all of the female coworkers that I've had that have come in and out of that building have always had a concern with our manager. And it always seemed like very legit. I don't want to say it always seemed. It always was a legitimate concern. It wasn't something like, I don't know, I can't even come up with a bullshit scenario. Like, it was just things like they felt uncomfortable because of him, or they felt like he really didn't listen to them, or they felt like he was doing things to try to encourage them or get them to quit. And it just wasn't a very healthy environment. It seemed like, despite the fact that he was a manager, his main goal was to incorporate divisiveness amongst his employees. And this is very unfortunate, man, because he's a fucking manager. Like, these are my coworkers and we're supposed to have a good workflow. Like, obviously, they're coworkers. It's a professional environment, so you don't have to be buddy-buddy with everybody, be best friends, but we obviously want an environment where we can at least work together and work with a nice rhythm, where we can just have a good flow in the workplace. And it really felt like instead of focusing on that, then yeah, he focused on being more divisive and spreading he said, she said, gossip, and trying to get the employees to, for lack of a better term, turn on each other. It didn't really seem like he had the company's best interest at heart. And it sucked. And it's unfortunate that he's not there. But he's not there. And Like I said, he created an environment where a lot of people, male and female and otherwise, didn't feel comfortable. And so I think it really is best that dude's not there anymore. And like I said, I'm not wishing ill will on him. We're not dancing and celebrating and, like clapping for his downfall. But bro, that was just not the environment for him. That's not the environment for you. I don't know if you ever listen. I don't know if you're even going to catch this podcast, but my guy, if you're listening to this, that was not the environment for you. Like the fact that you didn't listen to anybody, the fact that you brushed so much under the rug, that was very vital to the company. It's done. It's done. That's the beautiful thing, man. It's done. Don't got to deal with this dude anymore. I think that was another thing too. Like it wasn't just female coworkers of mine that had like complaints of not feeling like comfortable or heard. It was like he used to shit talk me behind my back. He would say things to me at the end of the day like, "Oh, like great job. We appreciate all your help. You've been kicking ass lately." Da 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 da. But come to find out, he was saying at some point was saying things that like I was doing performatively terrible at my job and how he was threatening to take away the raise that I had worked and busted my ass off for because he said he thought I was doing terribly, but he wasn't actually sharing that info with me. So it's just he's just shit talking. Like you're not actually bringing this up to me. If it's legitimate of a concern enough for you to consider taking my raise away, then you would think that a manager would have the balls to bring that up to their employee. But I digress. I just wanted to bring that up. My boss got fired. And it is very surreal to me just because I've never worked in an environment where I've had a boss or a manager or whoever that was let go. It just always seemed like once they were there, that was solidified. That was it. Deal with it. Suck it up. You don't like the way they are. There's the door. Colorado's an at-will state, so they can technically fire us at any point for no reason. So it's just I never really thought that a company would be proactive like that, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool is not the right word. I guess it's just reassuring. It's reassuring to see that there are companies out there that don't deal with people's bullshit within their company, regardless of what position that person holds in that company. And I got some respect for that. I got some major respect for that. But yeah, man. Looks like we're nearing on the 33 minutes right there. Boom. Looks like we're nearing on a little bit past the 30-minute mark. So I think I might call the podcast for today. No, not yet. I want to talk about, what did I want to talk about? That's right. The new Marvel What If show is coming out, tomorrow, actually. So I am super fucking hyped about that. If you guys don't know, the Marvel What If series is just that. It's like a hypothetical, it's just that. It's hypothetical storylines that don't really have a connection to the main story or the main universe. I've heard otherwise, though, with the TV show. Like, I've heard that, some of the stories will have an effect on the grand scheme, but it's just random stories with like interesting elements or turning points. Like, what if Agent Peggy Carter was the one that took the super serum or super soldier serum and became Captain Carter, like Captain America, I guess, even though she's British. But it's just scenarios like that. Or like, what if T'Challa, Black Panther, was a Ravager instead of Star-Lord and things like that. So, yeah, this is super cool. I'm excited for it. I really love the hypothetical what-ifs. I think I've definitely mentioned it on the podcast before, but I fell into the comic book rabbit hole a couple months ago, and I've actually been reading some of the what-if comics recently. Some of the ones I've read aren't the best, I'm going to be honest. Like, some of them are kind of boring, but overall, a few that I have read are pretty dope. So it's got me excited for the TV show. Not just because of the comics, but just because the Marvel TV shows have been fucking killing it so far. And so I know that this is just going to be another addition to that list. But yeah, we're definitely going to have to talk about that next podcast. Now that I've mentioned that, now that I got a little bit of the geeky, nerdy stuff in there too, I think I might actually officially call the podcast for the day. Hit the 35-minute mark right there. So wow, that's a new record, man. Episode number 6 is the longest podcast yet. But yeah, as always, thanks again for tuning in, guys. Hope you have a great week. Y'all be safe out there. This is What's Up Riv signing off from from the Right from the River podcast. You guys have a good week. Peace.